Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with more random reviews. And today I have 3 box sets that I've stuffed away somewhere and just dug out. And boy, see this thing? I mean, how do you unpack that? This is like CDs, and there's like several of them stacked up here. And oh, God. Well, I really am getting somewhere. This shelf behind me, it's now full. We're really getting there. The box set rack is full of boxes. I have to move everything around again. It never ends. It never ends, which means this series is going to never end. So what are the 3 boxes? Well, they're actually very, very interesting. Of course, everything is interesting, isn't it? That's the problem. There's so much interesting music, you don't know where to draw the line. I stopped drawing the line when I was in my 20s, so it's been, First, Schubert, the complete music 4 hands, or almost complete, with piano duo Tal and Groethuysen. They're a wonderful, wonderful piano duo. I actually, we hosted them at the Cannes Classical Awards, which was absolutely marvelous. They played the Schubert Fantasy in F minor. It's F minor, isn't it? Or F sharp minor, or whatever it is. It's right here on, actually, I should know this because it's on the back of the box. It's going to say, let's see, Grand Duo with a Fantasy. Yep. Yeah, okay, it's here. Let's just pretend it's here because I know it is. There it is, Fantasias. There they are. Anyway, here's the point. It's wonderful. There's tons of it. This is 7 CDs. Everything from little marches and dance thingies to the Grand Duo and that Fantasy that we just talked about. And the 2 divertissements, the one on Hungarian motives and the one on French motives. Oh my God, they're wonderful. Then you've got the March Militaires, the famous one. Da 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 bum ba dum da 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 dum ba 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 ba da da da. That actually is better known in orchestral versions. But oh, what delicious stuff it is. And this is an absolutely splendid box. It's on Sony, and it's long unavailable, of course. But it'll probably pop up again. And there are other versions of Schubert piano music 4 hands. The point, yes, is that you listen to the Schubert piano music 4 hands because it's a wonderful repertoire niche that he was an absolute master in. So there you go. Next, oh my goodness, Bach with Wanda Landowska. The Bach Landowska box thing. You get the Well-Tempered Clavier, the Goldberg Variations, the Italian Concerto, a Prelude, Fugue, and Allegro, and then 2-part inventions, 3-part inventions, a Fantasia, the Capriccio, and the Departure of his beloved brother, and Partita number 2, all with Wanda. There she is, the one, the only, at her home in Connecticut. Yay! She lived in Connecticut. I never saw her there, but she was there. There she was, up in Litchfield County somewhere. And that's where she hung out with her harpsichord. Anyway, Wanda Landowska, these were recorded, mostly in the 50s, I think, and before. What does it say here? I'll get the dates. And, in her home. Let's give me a second here. Oh, there we are. Here's all the dates. There we go. They recorded in New York City, 1940s, 1950. Yes, she was in Lakeville, Connecticut. I've been to Lakeville many times. And although I didn't know that she had a house there at the time when I was a kid, it was sort of a Cub Scout hangout place. 1955, okay, so between 45 and 55 is when most of these recordings were made. The sonics are a little dim, but quite tolerable. And she used a big megacord, a harpsichord, a tank. It was just a monster harpsichord that she could have all kinds of fun little registrations with. And, she was a marvelous musician, a first-rate musician. But more importantly than that, she was the one who started it all. The period instrument thing and the playing Bach as Bach may have heard Bach being Bachified. Yeah, she was the Bach babe. And, what can you say? You may not like her interpretations now. They are, by the latest historical scholarship, perhaps they are somewhat somewhat out of date, but, great musicianship is never out of date. It's only, datedness is just a term of art, a scholarly curiosity. I mean, Landowska is Landowska. She was a force of nature. She is a thing in the history of music, and her recordings for that reason are essential. So there you go. And finally, last but not least, this is really fun. This is Pierre Dervaux with the Orchestre Philharmonique des Pays de Loire. France is famous for having orchestras with enormously long names. L'Orchestre de Flambeau de Cerise de la Rhône Côte d'Azur. It just goes on and on and on. Anyway, so this is really great stuff. Dervaux was a wonderful conductor. We've got 3 discs in this little boxlet, which I'm sure is also long unavailable. But you get Vincent Dandy, Jour d'été de la montagne, Les forêts enchantées. See, Dandy was sort of the Arnold Bax of France. He did all of this like nature stuff, tone poems and whatnot. Tableau de voyage and Istar variations and Wallenstein. So that's the Dandy stuff. Then we've got Pierné, who's a really good composer-conductor. He was sort of like the French Mahler, sort of. Kind of, as a conductor-composer. And we have his Image and Viennoise and the Paysage Franciscaine, which is really cool. And La Cathédrale, the cathedrals. Yeah. And then we have Henri Rabaud, who was sort of like the French Henri Rabaud. I mean, he was just himself. The Divertissement sur des chansons russes. La Procession Nocturne. Marouf. Yeah, the dances for orchestra. And finally, his epilogue, Opus 7. Who knows what it's an epilogue to? It's an epilogue to Opus 7, as far as we know. But this is just a wonderful 3-disc set. And, it's like one of my one of those little treasures you keep in your collection, because they're not easy to find. I mean, they were available separately and, but wow, that's a nice disc. This is one of those things. Someone asked me, do you come across things that you don't know you have and that you don't remember hearing? And I said, yeah, it happens sometimes. Well, this is one of those things that you don't know you have. I remember them very well because I had the singles when they were singles, and I had the LPs and whatnot. But it's just wonderful, interesting repertoire. How it got boxed up in a little handy set of 3, I have no idea, but I'm awfully glad it did, and I'm delighted to have it. And there we are. 3 fabulous box sets, randomly reviewed. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.